Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we're taking a look at another NoiseAsh plugin, and this one is their Bax EQ collection, which basically has two versions of the same plugin, just one with more features in it. You've got the regular Bax EQ here on the left, and you got the Bax EQ Pro on the right. We're going to compare the features of those two in just a minute. Just a little bit of background about this EQ. Baxandall EQ is a special type of shelving EQ that was developed by English electrical and audio engineer Peter Baxandall in around 1950 or so. It has a really particular shape to it and a gentle slope with really minimized phase shift because of that gentle slope. That allows you to do some pretty significant EQ moves without making it sound overdone. And we'll see why that is in a second in PluginDoctor 2. So let's dive right into the controls. First, on the left, we've got the regular Bax EQ here. We've got high pass filter with set frequencies, low pass filter with set frequencies. We've got our low shelf and our high shelf here. You can see the frequency selectors on the bottom and then the gain knobs right on top. Now, most of the older hardware units didn't actually include this mid-band, so this is a nice feature to have in here. And even if you turn this Q way up tight, it's not as tight as you might think, and we'll look at that in a second. The Pro version is basically the same control as the low, high shelf and mid-band with the filters, except we now have the ability to control the left and right side independently or go into mid-side mode and control the mid and side signals separately. We've also got NoiseAsh's nuanced deviation system, kind of mimicking the tolerances in different hardware units. We've also got a second preamp type. There's a preamp over here I forgot to mention. A second preamp type that we can choose from to add some of that preamp saturation to the signal. Now, if I jump into PluginDoctor here, you'll see on the EQ curve why this is such a smooth sounding EQ. If I crank the high shelf, I'll go all the way up to, let's say, 7.1K or so. And if I boost this all the way up, you can see that really gentle curve. Same thing with the cut. It's really smooth. And if I move the different frequencies out, it's really gentle. And that max boost, as you can see, is really only about 6 dB, so it's not crazy. Same thing goes with the low band. Basically plus or minus 6 dB with a really, really gentle slope. The mid band, if you decide to use it, is also really wide, but even at its tightest setting, it's not super tight. So you can see why a lot of people think of this EQ as being super musical or super smooth because those slopes are so unique. All right, so let's hear this thing in action. I'm going to play a mix. I'm going to bypass the EQ. This is just the plain full stereo mix without any of this EQ in it. So all I would want to do in that mix really is open up the top end a little bit more. Maybe boost a little bit of that bottom end. There seems to be some muddiness, maybe around 400 or so, and I'll pull that out. So let's try some of those EQ moves. I'll engage this EQ and try to open up the top end, push a little bit of the bottom, and cut some of that mud. So you can see I can really push that top end and not get harsh. Just opens it up nicely. I'll bypass it on and off as it plays, starting with it on. Really nice sound, just kind of sounds like you're taking a blanket off the speakers. Let's try this preamp in it. Now, I probably wouldn't use the preamp that much on a full mix, but it's great to have if you want to sort of smash some buses with this. Now let's jump over to the Pro version of the same EQ. Again, I'll push that top end up. I'll push a little bit of that bottom. I'll cut a little bit of that lower mid-range. But this time I want to try the two different preamp types that we have here. Now if we go really subtle with those preamps, we can get this. That second preamp definitely breaks up a little bit sooner than the first one. And again, not a great example of when you would use that preamp, but it's nice to have as a feature in there. So there we have it, the Bax EQ collection from NoiseAsh, another great plugin from this company. Really easy to use, great for buses, great for overall stereo mixes, really smooth, gentle sounding EQ, and highly recommended. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.